This is David McCann for WebTNG. In this screencast, I want to look at the Crocoblock Suite of tools for Elementor in relationship to dynamic data. Crocoblock has recently included some new features and plugins in the suite, so I want to take a look at those. Full disclosure, I was given a coupon to try the Crocoblock Suite, and I've been trying to make this video for a couple of weeks now, but keep running into issues. The silver lining is that I've discovered that the support channel is responsive and helpful, but I've come to the conclusion that we're definitely dealing with a version 1. There are just a few rough edges, and I'm going to point those out as I go along. So this is a balanced review. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to try to show the strengths and the weaknesses. And there are some nice strengths, as well as I said, some rough edges. So I've got a new install here with the lovely 2017 theme. And if we go back into the back end, you'll see that I've just got these default plugins installed, which we don't need. Okay, now I'm going to install the Crocoblock theme wizard. So I'm going to pause the video for that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got that installed, and I entered the license key. Now I'll tell you, I've tried to do this video using the Astra theme, and I've tried to do it using the development site that I created for the first video on the Crocoblock Suite, but I kept running into problems, and I was wondering if maybe it had something to do with my install, that something was corrupt. So that's why I have a new install, and I'm just going to go with the theme, the Kava theme that comes with Crocoblock. We're going to get the whole kit and caboodle here. I was just going to look at a couple of the plugins, but let's just make it easy. And I'm going to go with their skin also. If you watched the first video, you saw my comments and experience with these, which was pretty good. I don't really have anything in this install, so it's fine to replace. Okay, so I've cut out some of the boring installation, watching the progress bar part here, but we've gotten to the end of the wizard. So I want to go and look here at this menu item here is from the JetThemeCore, I believe. We're going to look at the plugins and make sure that we have the ones installed that we need. Well, we're going to want the JetEngine, so I'm installing that. I'm glad I checked. And that looks pretty good. Okay. So now that I've got those things installed, let's look at our list of plugins here. Okay, you can see we get a bunch of them here. So what we want to do here is look at some of the plugins that relate to dynamic data. And this JetEngine plugin is the one that provides that functionality. So let's go through these menu items. The first one is for importing and exporting your custom post types, and that's very useful. Why it's called Skins Manager is a little confusing, because skins are what Crocoblock calls the demo data, the pre-designed layouts and templates for the site. Now look, we've got this data update. So I'm not sure what that means and why that came, but we'll hit that. Let's go back. Okay, so that was the JetEngine. The listings, you use these in creating your archives, and we're going to go through that process. So we'll be back here. This is for creating your custom post types, your custom taxonomies, and the meta boxes if you want to add custom fields to one of your content types. So let's create a custom post type. Now, here it has slug and name. Usually these are reversed. You have the name first and then the slug. And when you type the name in, books, it would fill this in lowercase. That's what I've seen other plugins for creating custom post types do, but that's not a big deal. Then they have some options here, and I'm going to pretty much go with the defaults. And then you have this thing here, if you want to show it in the menu here, what's the position going to be? Let's see, how about after contact? Is that going to work? Let's choose a book and click add post type. Did it appear? Oh look, it appeared in the first place. This was kind of cheating on my part because I knew it wanted a number from trial and error in other previous attempts at this. So let's just give it one, let's say 7. Okay, and that put it in position 2. So why position, or 3, why that's a 7 isn't clear. And what I've seen other plugins do is they give you a drop down of these items and say, where would you like it? Do you want it after which one of these items? So anyway, a new user coming in really isn't going to have a clue what you're supposed to enter in this field. Let's try 12. Where did that put it? Here. Okay, so, but anyway, that's not that important. And then you get this area here where these are the WordPress, common WordPress features. So it's got a title and editor. We'll want comments and revisions, author. Let's see, thumbnail. Is that all that we need? That should do it. Okay, and now we add our fields. So I'm going to add one custom field here. Amazon link. And this is going to be where we have our affiliate link. And then these are the types of fields that JetEngine supports. We have date, we have text, date time as one field, text area, a switcher, a checkbox icon picker, media, radio, repeater, select, and color picker. There isn't one for a link or URL, so I guess we'll go with text. Now, normally I think you'd want to have a URL or link type just for the purpose of allowing the plugin to validate the entries to make sure people don't enter incorrect data. But a text will work here for now, so we'll go with that. Let's update and go take a look at the books. Okay, and here are our standard editor screen fields, the title, the content, the featured image, and here is where I'll enter the Amazon link. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video and add a few books here and then come right back. Okay, so I've entered 4 book records. Let's take a look at one. Okay, here's the title. We have the permalink. We have the content, the featured image, and this would be our affiliate link. Okay, so I think we're ready to start creating the templates for this. And why do we have to create a template? Let's take a look. By default, WordPress doesn't show any of those custom fields like our affiliate link, which is a pain. And that's why we need tools to do that. You could create a PHP templates for your theme, but we're going to use the Elementor and Crocoblock Suite for that. Okay, and also this isn't, because the books have this kind of featured image, this doesn't really look that nice. Let's go back to the dashboard. We're going to go to the JetThemeCore plugin here in My Library. You see, it's added a header and footer here, but we need to have a template for our custom post type, so we'll do Add New. And it's a single. We were already on there. Okay, now it doesn't ask us here to pick which post type we're creating this template for. If it did that, it would make our life a little easier, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, so I'm going to start here and bring over that featured image. And the JetThemeCore gives us these widgets, Elementor widgets. There's dynamic field, dynamic image, dynamic link, dynamic metadata, repeater, terms for your categories and tags, and grid. So we're going to start out by using these. We'll drag our image. Wait a minute, we're doing books and we don't have a book cover like that. So what we need to do is go to the settings and we have to tell it what we're doing. So it's a singular. Now we had already picked singular before we got in here and we want a singular for books, but that's not showing here. So post type, yeah, there we go, books. Okay, and we'll take that one away. Good. So let's update that. And then we're going to need to refresh this so that the Elementor editor knows which one we're dealing with. And let's remove that and try again. Let's see. Nope. Did we miss something here? We're on books. We're on post type books. Let's pick one to use. Oh, look, it's back. I must have messed that up here. Off the Grid is the name of one of the books. Okay. So let's go back here and do the refresh again. That's better. That's what we're looking for. And like I said, you know, some of this is new. I might not be doing it the most efficient way, but I think there's some value in sharing my mistakes as well as when I do it right. All right, so now I want to have, this is the single. So I'd like to have the title up here. So we'll do dynamic field. It's got the title of the book. It picked that one. There were some choices here. That's the one I want. Now instead of a div, let's have that as an H1. Okay. Now let's have our meta. Okay, we've got that. Now we want to have our content. And I guess it's going to be another dynamic field. Content. Good. All right, now that's looking decent. Now we want to have the our Amazon link, a button here for our Amazon link. So we'll go down here now. I had hoped, these are Jet elements, so these are part of the Crocoblock Suite, and they do have a button here, and I kind of hoped that I would be able to use that, but it's not wired up yet with JetEngine, so that's probably something they're going to add in a later version, and they are adding and updating frequently and quickly, so that's a good thing. So it's a link, so I'd say let's put the dynamic link in there. Read more. Let's see, permalink. That's not what we want. That's the only option there. That's right. See, they didn't have the URL as a field type. It's just text. So we'll have to go with a dynamic field. We don't want the title here. So let's go metadata. I think that's what we do. And so I don't have a drop down there of this. Let's just type it in. Amazon link was what it was called. Okay, now it filled that in there, which that's good on some point, but see, I'd like that to be the anchor for the button, where it's going to go. That's not something that's going to help me here right now. I think I've kind of run into a limitation here. Let's take a look at these. We have field, that's when we're doing image. Link doesn't work. So if I was a little more creative, I could probably find a quick solution to that, but I don't have one. Let's save what we have now. We'll come back to this in a few minutes. Let's save what we have now. And let's go back out to the dashboard. So this is our template. Okay, template for single books, and it's assigned to books, to the post type books. So we should be all set now when we are looking at one of our books. Let's go take a look here. Hey, it worked. Awesome sauce. All right, now what I'm going to do to solve the problem I had with using to get that Amazon link is I'm going to install Elementor Pro. So far I've just had the free version of Elementor. So I'm going to pause the video and install Elementor Pro. Okay, I've got Elementor Pro installed and I entered the license key. Now the reason I did that is because Elementor Pro works with dynamic data. So maybe I can use the button that comes with Elementor instead here. So let's delete that. Use the Elementor button. Okay, and now for link, we go dynamic data. and it's not showing. It recognized that we had some fields, but they're not showing. So let's see here. I'm going to try post custom field. Okay, it doesn't see anything there. Let's go back. JetEngine custom field. Well, I'm just messing around here trying to see if I can get something to show. Alright, now I've tried this before. As I said, I've been trying to make this video for a while now, and occasionally I can get it to show. I'm not sure what it is, but you've kind of seen what I've done here. So we got something a little squirrely here. So for text here, we're going to just say buy on Amazon. Okay, and for here, let's try updating. Let's try going back in. Does it know we're on books? Yep, it knows that. So let's go back here. Let's try refreshing. Okay, so there we got it to show. Okay, but you can see it's a little squirrely. But anyway, we did get it eventually. So we solved that problem. And we saved that. Let's exit to the dashboard. And let's go back here to books. Let's look at one of the other ones here. Let's look at this one. Okay, so we've got our template for our single book. Let's go now and make the archive. Now I believe the way you do this with Crocoblock is first you go in listings, and we're going to create the template. You know, when you have an archive, you have a list of posts in that post type. And so for each of those posts, you know, each row, we're going to create a template for the row or the card or however you're laying it out. So listing source is posts. Yeah, we're not doing categories. From books. Okay, good. That showed up. So we're going to call this book listing template. We're going to create that. Okay, and again we're going to use the 2 column. Let's go here and add our dynamic image. Okay, good. It found our book custom post type. And now we will add our remember this is the archive, so we're going to have a title here, and I want to be able to click on it to go to the single. So normally I would choose dynamic link. But you see, oh, okay, we've got Amazon link and permalink. So Neither one of those, though, are the title. So let's try again. We could go here, and we could make that an H. Well, I guess we'd make it an H2. But there's no, when we're doing the dynamic field, there's no link option here where we can use a URL. So that's not going to work for us. So we're going to use the Elementor version. And because we have Pro, we're going to see if we can use this is going to be the post title. Okay. And now for our link, we want the post URL. All right, so that's good. Now we're going to go down here and grab our post meta. Looks good. And now we're going to want to go down and put an excerpt here and then a read more button. So we go dynamic field. We don't want the title. We want excerpt. Okay, this is not showing the excerpt. Now normally, I think I know what's going on here, is normally you can define your, if you haven't specifically set up an excerpt, you can define excerpt. You can say, hey, use the first, I don't know, 50 or 60 characters. Okay, but that doesn't look like it's an option here. Like I said, this is version 1, and so they're going to iterate and make it better. This isn't going to work for us. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to save what we have so far. And I'm going to go back to our custom post type in JetEngine. The books, let's edit that. And remember that in this list, excerpt was one of the options. So we're going to have to specifically enter the value for the excerpts, it looks like. So let's go in and edit each one. We'll take the first few sentences here of each one. We'll add it to the excerpt. Okay. All right, so we did that. Now let's go back. We were in our JetEngine listing. Let's go back and now see if we can get that to show. Okay, this is where we were. Let's go down here, dynamic field, and excerpt. Okay, so that's what we have to do for now to get the excerpt. Now we want to read more button, and let's see if that's an option here in our, that might be an option here with dynamic links. Read more, good. Okay, we'll just go with that. Let's update and save that. All right, now as you can see, this would just be one row in our archive. So now what I think we do is we go here and we say we want to create an archive. And let's add new. We're creating an archive. Not sure why it doesn't have us select the post type, but it doesn't. So I think that means that when we're in here, we're going to have to start by going in here and saying what we're doing. All archives, some post type archive for books. Okay, that looks good. Whoops. How did that? Okay, good. So let's save that. Let's go back here. Let's refresh. Okay, now in the JetEngine, they have this listing grid widget, so we're going to use that one. Please select the list to go, and so we create our book listing template. Okay, and we have that. If we wanted it like that, we could, but remember I wanted it to be a row. So there we go. Looks decent, wasn't too hard. Let's update that. And now let's exit to dashboard. Let's go back here and look in my library. We have book archive and post type books. Great. Now let's go add this to the menu. Books, add to menu, save, and let's go here. There's our link we just added. Let's click it, cross our fingers. Awesome. There's our archive. Now let's go look at a single. And that worked. Okay, so this is how we would use the dynamic data in the Crocoblock Suite for custom post type. In conclusion, the Crocoblock Suite brings a lot of functionality to the table, but this is definitely a version 1 of the dynamic data features. Crocoblock team releases frequent updates, so I imagine they'll address the rough edges. At that point, these dynamic data features will be a nice addition. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching.